Welcome to this week's Future Toolbox podcast. We explore the Z to A of life skills, where each letter stands for a topic and essential tool to help you get ahead in life. Meet Jules and Mark, creators of the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox, and enjoy their straightforward approach to creating growth mindsets that help people turn their dreams into realities. Whether you're a teen in education, a parent, a teacher, or part of a community group, start creating positive habits from today.
Welcome to our latest Z to A podcast with myself, Jules, and Mark from the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back.
Welcome, everyone. Now, this is where we pick a letter from the alphabet and a topic and discuss how you can use our tools to improve your own personal development and your life. So this episode's letter is...
This episode's letter is P for passion and purpose. It's actually two P's, isn't it?
Sounds like a perfume. Oh, that's another P.
Passion, purpose and perfume. We're not going to talk about perfume, though.
But it sounds like a make of perfume.
It does. We're going to copyright that. Future Toolbox perfume called Passion and Purpose.
Yes. There you go.
That's not going to
That's a new line.
No, well, you never know. You never know. But yes, we're going to talk about finding your purpose. And that starts with self-reflection, asking yourself hard questions at what you actually love and what you're passionate about and what basically brings you fulfillment and joy to life. What gets you up in the morning? What makes your heart sing?
Yeah.
And some people go, well, nothing really. So we need to find our passion if you're a nothing person, because sometimes it is okay that life gets a little bit stale and it plateaus a little bit, and also it can feel a little bit samey and feel a little bit, what's the point in all this? P for passion, purpose, and what's the point? Be another P there. What's the point?
What's the point? Now, this episode is for anybody, whatever age. You might be a student and you might be being asked, well, what career would you like? And you're thinking, well, I don't know, because I'm not sure where to begin. Or you could be in your adult life and you could be at work and thinking, do you know, I really don't like this job. I've been there. I've had to get up and go to a job that absolutely mind-numbingly boring, but the people weren't very nice and I needed to get out of it. So you may be looking at making some changes in your life. If you start looking at the purpose, which ultimately is your why, isn't it? Yeah. What is your why? Like you said, what's going to get you out of bed in the morning with that big spring in your step?
Now let's start with the teenagers, because let's face it, getting out of bed and going to school on a cold morning doesn't always fill people with passion and purpose.
No.
They're always thinking, what's the point in this? I've got to follow all these rules. I've got to do what I'm being told. I have to wear a uniform I don't like, study a curriculum I don't like. And it is pretty difficult to think, yeah, I'm going to really, really find my purpose today. But that purpose could be a small thing. It could be a new habit that you want to create. It could be a friendship and going to see somebody that you know and like at school. It could be your favourite teacher or something like that. But it is just looking ahead and looking at the little things as opposed to the big things.
I guess looking at and finding your purpose involves exploring different paths, maybe trying new things and stepping outside of that comfort zone. We've talked about that a lot, and it is hard to get out your comfort zone because, let's face it, it's comfortable, it's easy, and stepping outside of it is difficult, but that's where you're going to find the answers. So it's almost like if you're looking for what it is that you're passionate about and what you want your life to be about, your future really, consider it being like putting a puzzle together, like a jigsaw puzzle, for example, and each piece represents an aspect of yourself. So have a look at things like your interests. What do you like doing?
Yeah, I guess if you're a young person, then you're going to have different hobbies and interests to maybe an adult. And things that we find important as a teenager certainly change as we grow up and as we grow older. We find new things, we lose old things. But it is about thinking about trying things that you enjoy, or looking at things and thinking, if I was to do that, would that be something I'd enjoy doing? And sometimes, again, if you take the teenage peer groups, it can be sometimes hard to push yourself outside that comfort zone and think, I really want to try this, but A, I don't have the confidence, or B, what will people think of me? And when you're in school, it can be a cruel place because you could try something, mess up, and everybody laughs at you. Let's face it. when you're an adult, it does sometimes happen in peer groups, doesn't it? Yeah, of course. I mean, I remember my mates when I was in my 20s, if somebody done something that there was the opportunity to take the mickey out of you if you'd done something wrong, your mates would certainly do that. I've played in sports teams where maybe playing football, you miss an easy chance or misplace a pass or fall over or something like that. And of course, everybody takes a mickey out of you, don't they? So those two things can be quite difficult. But you sometimes have to think, what is it that I would really enjoy? Then be prepared to make the mistakes. And if you want to put it in the simplest possible way, make a fool of yourself.
But yeah, this puzzle, it's about looking at your interests. But also another one is looking at your values. What makes you you? What are your values in life? What are your passions? What are your dreams? And it's almost like putting all that down on paper. You can create a puzzle or some sort of drawing, but finding your purpose is about learning and growing and constantly evolving.
Yeah, one of my values as a young person, as a teenager in school, was I wanted to be a person that people liked. I always wanted to be a person that was non-offensive and I didn't upset people. And if I did upset somebody, I didn't like that and I'd always want to put it right. And now moving on a few years since education, that's a value I still hold massively.
I was going to say, you've not changed.
I've not changed at all. I really don't want to upset anybody. I really don't want people to think bad things of me and, of course, of you. And if something does go wrong or I feel like I've offended somebody, I need to put it right straight away. It's a lifelong purpose to hold on to and embrace and almost build that brand of yourself. So that is me, that is you. We like people to like us and be respected. And yeah, that's very true.
And while you're doing any of this or looking at it, remember that there is no one size fits all. We're all different, we're all individual. And this is your unique adventure towards finding out what fits your core values.
Again, mentioning that you're going to change as you grow up. You might change your values. You might change the person you want to be. I was very quiet at school and didn't talk to many people. Now I'll talk to anybody.
I'm going to say we can't shut you up.
So you do sort of change as a person. And also there is that thing of transitioning into an adult where sometimes people lose their passion for things because they say, I used to do that when I was younger. I stopped doing it. And I remember meeting a teacher one day in a school. We were delivering a programme on goal setting. And I remember him introducing us to the class and the year group and saying, you need to listen to these guys because they're experts on goal setting. You have your whole life ahead of you. And while the students were doing an exercise, I went over to talk to him because I thought he seems really passionate about goal setting. And I said, oh, hi, sir. You seem really passionate about goal setting. Is this something that you do all the time? And have a little go at this exercise. And he went, oh, to be honest with you, I don't do this anymore because I'm too old for it.
I remember that.
Yeah.
We were both.
I'm in my mid-40s.
Yeah, really shocked.
I don't have to do that anymore. I'm past all that now. I've achieved and fulfilled everything I need to achieve in life. And I thought, you're in your mid-40s. Your life is still fulfilling. You have so much to offer. To actually have that mindset of I need to stop now because I've achieved everything. And we don't know what he'd achieved, but surely there was a little bit more left. So please don't ever think, when I was 15, I used to do this and I don't do that anymore because I'm too old or because I've never done it. Pick it up again, start it again, have a little go.
Yeah, as a teenager, trying to find your purpose is quite difficult because a lot of people will be asking you, well, what do you want to do when you leave school? And for most people, you've got no idea. You might have a few things you think, well, I quite like doing that, but I'm not sure. And to be honest with you, I don't know about yourself, Mark, but my sort of career advice, or whatever you want to call it, at school was virtually non-existent. It was more or less, because I was female, typing and shorthand, and you're going to be a secretary or something along those lines. And I just thought, oh, that's my life. And I had aspirations of doing all sorts of crazy things like joining the Air Force. I wanted to be air hostess. You kind of get the flying little bug started at a young age. But equally, I wanted to do things like be a hotel receptionist because I thought that looked really exciting because you were meeting so many different people that were coming for all sorts of different reasons, whether they be on holiday or business. And the thought of doing that in different countries, for me, that was amazing. But there was no help to help you choose or look at those purposes that you were trying to fulfill.
I'm going to think back now. Imagine if I was Jules's career advisor back in that day. What I just heard you say to me there was that you wanted to be a hotel receptionist because you wanted to talk to people, you liked communicating with people, you liked helping people. So if that was me there, I would now be thinking, what other options are there out there in the world that you could do where you're talking to people and communicating with people?
Well, the other one, I wanted to be a librarian, which is completely the opposite, because I wouldn't have been allowed to talk. But I love books. And again, I love travel now. I love books. We're authors. We create books, we read books, and it was obviously a passion that was there inside me but hadn't been unleashed at that age.
I know, and that's the thing, isn't it? If somebody had said to you, well, if you like books, what is you like about books? Maybe you could become an author. What is it you like about people? Well, maybe you could become a public speaker or a life coach or a mindset coach or something along those lines. And then you've somehow found your way into that path. And you also worked in travel for quite some time as well.
And that's one of my favourite jobs, other than what we're doing now, this whole personal development and helping people to achieve their dreams and their goals. In the holiday industry, it was helping people having those fantastic holidays. But equally, it taught me about the world. I had to learn about each country's cultures and what makes them unique. And I just found it brilliant. And all I could think was, I want to go there, I want to go there, I want to be here. It's fabulous.
You found your passion and your purpose because you had the ability to do that yourself. And likewise, I mean, I didn't get a great deal of careers advice at school. I remember picking my schoolwork experience, and the first thing I wanted to put down was a company in Northampton called Wembley Sports at the time.
Is that because it had the name Wembley?
It had the name Wembley in it. I loved football, and the biggest thing was watching the FA Cup final on the TV and seeing the players walk out of Wembley. And Wembley Sports had also taken over a company called Metoy at the time, which was a short for Metal Toys. So they used to make little cars, like Tonka toys and things like that. And it just sounded so exciting to go and work for this company that made footballs and toys. And my mum went, yeah, that's probably not a good idea to go and work there because it's a factory job and you don't want to work in a factory. You want to work in an important job. So that's where I ended up going to Nationwide Building Society and pursuing the career of becoming a bank manager. But I didn't really know why I wanted to do that. And my career's advice was, oh, great, your work experience went really well. Just go and apply for a job with them.
That was it. Isn't it? But if you look back, you had passions that nobody explored the same as myself. So our message to teenagers is just to have a little self-reflection moment and think, what is it that you really, really enjoy doing? And don't think, well, maybe I shouldn't say that because it sounds silly. Because if I'd have said to somebody, I want to be a hotel receptionist, their perception of what that looked like would possibly be completely different to my perception of what it was that I really wanted to do. So if there's something, explore it. And even if you're looking at changing your career, you've been at work for 10, 20 years, go back to what your passions were. Go back to your teenage times. Think, well, what did I used to like doing then? Because you might just find what your purpose is for your next part of your life.
Yeah, and a great bit of advice we always give to teenagers starting at that level is to think about what you do and how you could get paid for doing it.
Yeah.
And then I would take that a step further, and having just mentioned the word getting paid for something, is to remove the money factor from things and remove the qualification factor, because we get institutionalised very quickly in education. You have to be qualified to do something. And also the peer group and the media paints a picture that you need to earn a lot of money to be happy. And again, we've talked about this in loads of podcasts in the past, that money doesn't equal happiness. It's what you do with the money that can equal the happiness, or it's what you do with your life that equals the happiness. We know some very, very rich people who are very, very unhappy.
They're almost poor because they have all this money coming in and they think they've got to spend it and show that they're having this fantastic life. And then they have no money left at the end of the month. Nothing really to show emotionally about it, let alone having maybe bought something new.
And I've just read an article today, and I'm not... Many of our regular listeners know I'm not a reading the media buff, but I just happened to see a headline that said there's a study showing that people earning six-figure incomes are actually struggling in today's climate. And the reason why they're struggling is because mortgage rates are going up, finance rates are going up and everything. But to me, that isn't necessarily just the economy's fault. That is also looking at the person. Are they living within their means? If they're earning a six-figure income, they must be spending a lot of money to be affected by that. Do you need to spend that money? So for a young person, remove the millionaire lifestyle, remove the figures like net worth and everything like that, and just think, what is it that you want? And if you're the adult that's stuck in the rut, as Jules just said a moment ago, revisit your teenage years. Think about when you were a lot younger. What stuff didn't you care about that if you got it wrong, it didn't matter? Or what was you brave enough to have a little go at? Or maybe wasn't brave enough to have a go at, but you did it anyway. And then you've fallen into that little rut of thinking, do you know, I could pick that up and have another go at it, but I feel like I'm too old. Remove the I'm too old barrier.
Yeah. It's almost like a comparison of us moving over here to Lanzarote. It was a dream, it was an idea, it was something that we wanted to do, was experience living in another country. As we sort of progressed towards it and it all fell into place, we had an option. We either said yes straight away or we said no and we didn't come out here. But the biggest thing was we were given an opportunity to do something that we were both passionate about, something that we really wanted to do. And at that moment of being given the opportunity, we had no idea how we were going to do it, but we said yes.
And that's a big quote, isn't it? Say yes to the opportunity and then work out how you're going to do it later. Seize the moment.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we did. We thought, right, okay, we've got it, exactly what we want. How are we going to do it? We'll go back to the UK and we'll work it out. And literally 4 months later, 5 months later, we were out here. I was talking to a really good friend of mine yesterday, and we were just discussing life in general and families and stuff that you do over a cup of coffee. What she said is so true. She said, we're only here in this life for such a short period. When you're a teenager, you think living to 80 years old, for example, is going to be forever. But it isn't. You are only here for this short period of time. So you have to live it with purpose and with passion. There's no point with just getting by or doing whatever, because very, very soon it'll all be over. And guys, there's no dress rehearsal with life. This is it. You're living it now. So get out there, find your passion, find your purpose, and live that life that's worth living.
Be brave and just go on a voyage of self-discovery. Go and travel, go and see the world, go and see things and find things that will bring you joy.
Absolutely.
Now, you can find lots of things, lots of joyful things on our website.
Yay.
Lots of amazing tools to help you on your journey. If you go to futuretoolbox.co.uk, you can also find us on social media or on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok.
TikTok.
We also have a YouTube channel, which is good to subscribe to. And we're on LinkedIn if you want to reach out to us personally, because we are
everywhere.
We are everywhere indeed. And we look forward to catching you on the next episode.
Absolutely. Bye for now. And don't forget to find your passion and purpose.
Yay.
Thank you for joining us for the Z2A of Life Skills with Jules and Mark of the Future Toolbox. Don't forget to head over to their website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk, where you can find lots of free resources, plus a host of books in the store, as well as subscribing to the membership site. Follow Future Toolbox Instagram, TikTok and Facebook at Future Toolbox, and subscribe to their YouTube channel too.